Well, it is 8:32. I will call the, oh, well, that's really going to distract me. I'll call the November 2nd meeting of the Environment and Land Use Committee to order. Roll call of members. We've Randy Severson, Stacy Klein, David, Tony,
yes.
Andy, yes, Kellen, yes. Certify that open meeting law requirements have been met with proper posting. We have a 15-item agenda. Look for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Second.
Okay, motion made Todd and Larson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have, has everyone reviewed the meeting minutes from October 5th? Any corrections or additions?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve Larson,
Second.
second by Todd. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next, we have Christine from the NRCS office for an
Yes.
update.
I will be giving the FSA update since Aaron won't be here, so we'll go through that first. It's quite a few programs, so bear with me. It's the DMC, is the Dairy Margin Coverage Program. For dairy farmers can enroll now for 2023 coverage through the DMC program, an important safety net program from USDA that helps producers manage changes in milk and feed prices. The deadline sign-up goes through December 9th, 2022. And then the CRP program is the Conservation Reserve Program. Offers are being accepted for specific conservation practices through continuous CRP. CRP is a voluntary program that contracts with agricultural producers so that the environmentally sensitive agriculture land is devoted to conservation benefits. The deadline for producers to submit conservation offers for re-enrolled land or combination new and re-enrolled land is July 31st, 2023. There is also the MAL, Market Authorization Loans for Commodity Loans Program. This is for commodity loans are marketing tools available to producers upon harvest of an eligible commodity. The MAL program also provides interim financing for producers to meet cash flow needs when commodity prices are traditionally at harvest time lows. Commodity loan applications are currently available for 2022 harvest crops. Interest rates from November MAL is 5.25%, up from 4.265% in October. And they are also taking fall crop reporting. This is for producers that have been planting fall seeded crops. And the deadline to report, like cover crops and the fall seeded small grains, is November 15th, 2022. Then she also wanted to mention the DATCP crop insurance rebates, otherwise known as DADCAP. They are offering some helping for paying for cover crops through the RMA crop insurance program. This establishes rebates for planting cover crops. However, these rebates are through DADCAP, not FSA. So the premium rebate is applied in 2023 to cover the cover crops planted in 2022. Applications for cover crops planted in 2022 will be available in December. And she says, please contact DADCAP with any questions. about that program. So that's what they have for FSA's programs. I can't really answer any questions, but just contact the FSA office if any of those programs you're interested in, and they can help you through it. And I can go through the NRCS update with our programs. So we have the Conservation Stewardship Program. That's the 5-year program that we pay for conservation work for landowners to continue their conservation efforts. And we've finished making the annual payments this week. So those are all being deposited. And our EQIP program, that's the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, that sign-up is ending this Friday, and that is for conservation projects that take place in cropland, forest land, farmsteads, or in pasture land. We had quite a bit of interest, especially in the southern part of the county this year. They were hit by a couple of big storms at the wrong time of the year, and so we've been looking at quite a bit of work down in that area. And we had 2 grade stabilization projects finished this week, so that was a good thing. They got it in before the end of the year. And I've been doing some cover crop checks this week, so that's kind of the update. Kind of busy time of year right now.
Very much so.
Yeah, so.
Any questions from the committee for Christine? Very good. If anyone is interested in any of those programs, they can find you guys out at the FSA USDA offices there.
Yes, our sign-up ends on Friday for conservation projects, and other than that, the sign-ups are continuous, so you can kind of come in any time. We just stop the sign-ups once or twice a year and then group them
Reopen.
together and rank them.
Sure. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Yep, thank you.
Next item on agenda is a public hearing. Oh. Okay, so we have a public hearing for land use change rezone from exclusive agriculture to EA2 to primary agriculture from Eric and Lisa Scoyen, a landowner petitioner from Osseo, Wisconsin, town of Sumner. Randy, would you read that?
There will be a public hearing before the Trempealeau County Environment and Land Use Committee on Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. in the county boardroom of the courthouse, 36245 Main Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin. The purpose is a land use change rezone from exclusive ag 2 to primary ag on approximately 52 acres for the purpose of creating 2 parcels for a future land sale. Hearing is requested by Eric D. and Lisa M. Scoyen, Osseo, Wisconsin, landowner petitioner. Trempealeau County invites you to join this meeting as follows. To provide public comment on these hearings, please call 715-538-1770. Your attendance and comments are encouraged at this hearing. If you are unable to attend and have any questions, please call Verge Gamroth with the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1916 or email at verge.gamroth@county.trempealeau.wisconsin.us. If you are unable to attend and desire to submit a written comment, please send your written comment to the Department of Land Management, P.O. Box 67, Whitehall, Wisconsin 54773, or email Verge once again. Please know that written comments will be read at the public hearing up to 250 words. All written comments must include the name and address of its author and the request that the letter be read at a particular meeting date. Any special interest groups or Expert witnesses will be allowed 20 minutes to give a presentation and must register at least 1 week prior to the meeting date by calling Verge at Department of Land Management, 715-538-1916. Sincerely, Verge Camera Service Specialist.
Thank you, Randy. So I'll open public comment. Anyone wishes to call in on this matter is free to do so at 715-538-1770. Verge, do we have comments from the town?
Okay, well, I'll give you a little overview.
Okay.
I did talk to Eric Scoyen last night on the telephone. He didn't sound like he was going to be here, and obviously he's not. The rezone, as was published, is from exclusive ag 2 to primary ag on 52 acres. Exclusive ag zoning allows 1 per 35, and in order to create the split, we have to go to a higher zoning density of primary ag, which is 2 per 40. As the notice said, he's splitting the property at the field road to sell off approximately 19 acres to the north. Letters were sent to all adjoining landowners, and I didn't receive any correspondence from anyone. I do have a letter from the town of Sumner, and I'll read that when requested. The hearing was published in the newspaper on 10/12 and 10/19 in the Trumpealeau County Times. The land use plan calls for the land to stay in exclusive ag, but to allow for the required split is needed to go to a higher zoning density. The land will still be in agricultural zoning. However, this is not the zoning designated in the land use plan. If the rezone is passed today, I've prepared all the resolution to go to full county board on December 19th. Because our meeting is today and the county board meeting is the 10th, there's not 10 days between the public hearing and the county board meeting, so I had to
Go all the way to
push
December.
the resolution to December, and that's exactly why I called Eric last night, to tell him that it would be a little delayed.
December, sure.
So,
Okay. Thank you, Verge. If anyone wishes to comment about this, please call 715-538-1770. And do we have any, I believe you said you had a letter from the town.
yes, my letter's dated September 14th to the Trumpealeau County Zoning. Dear Sir, at our last board meeting, we had a request from Eric Scoyen to rezone 52 acres from exclusive ag to primary ag in Section 5, Township 24, Range 7 of Town of Sumner. The board has no problem with this request. Sincerely, Jane Brown, Clerk.
Thank you, Verge. And you said we've received no other correspondence on this at all. Are there any questions from the committee regarding this rezone? If anyone wishes to publicly comment about it, please call 715-538-1770. But if we don't receive any phone calls here, is there any questions the committee has regarding this rezone?
Is there a map someplace that I can't find that shows where this 19 acres is for sure?
It's in the packet.
Would it be that field road?
That's the field road, yeah.
This is, it's on the screen.
The-
That's the acreage.
Is it, the red line is the field road?
That's, I think that's a section.
The heavy red line? No, that's,
I think the red line is the field road. on
yeah,
that
that, I
page.
drove by it and tried to look. That looks like a field road.
Yeah,
But I'm trying to figure out where the 19 acres is out of this whole thing.
Because that's on the
Right here.
bottom corner. and
It's this whole piece, includes this triangle piece, because this
Field
whole
road,
piece
I know
is the
goes up
52.
that valley.
But that's
Yeah.
52 acres in the two sections.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, the rezone is for the whole 52 acres.
Yep.
Right.
right, but he would propose, plan would be to
There
sell
was
off
mention
the
of
northern.
19 acres in the application.
That's this northern.
I'm pretty sure that's the north of the
Okay,
field
that's what
road.
it is.
She
okay.
said the northern part of
Because
it.
on the map, that looked like more than 19 acres to me, and I was a little confused.
Right, 19
Yeah.
acres to the north.
Okay.
Yep.
There's applications.
Yep.
Sure. So if nobody wishes to publicly comment and our phones are not ringing off the hook, I will close public comment at 8:47 and open up to the committee. to make a recommendation?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, motion approved from Klein,
I'll second it.
second from Larson. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of approving the rezone from EA2 to primary agriculture, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. It will move on to the December county board meeting for final approval. Okay, thank you. Next item we have is county cost share payment requests. Discussion, possible action.
That
Go
would be me. Okay, so the one that I sent you guys out yesterday, it would be in your packet on the SharePoint. You can just disregard. We had a last-minute entry here from the state. So let's start with the first one. It would be Land and Water Resource Management. It is also combined with the county cost share grants. This is the same project. We just use two funding sources to cover the portion that we need to pay out. So from the land and water portion, for Derek Waldera, for paying out MJ Beck, it's $9,743.86 for this grassed waterway. That is in the township of Arcadia. Same project under the county cost share funds would be $3,264.06. So the portion to be paid out is $13,007.92. Any questions on that one? No. Nope, okay. The last one, which was the late entry here we've been working on, this project is a little bit more, it's a larger project. This is the giant grant we have that's almost $700,000. So don't be surprised by the amounts that come forward. This is for the Brian Olson Notice of Discharge. The first section is for SVL contracting. That would be Brian Bouch. That payment portion is $36,396.68, and the portion that he did was the borrow, the ramp infill, the aggregate subbase, and the fence. And then the next portion is for Smith Contracting, which is Corey Smith. That is $257,036.33, and he was responsible for the cast-in-place concrete, which also includes rebar. So the grand total for that project is $293,043.01 to be paid out. That project is in the town of Burnside. Any questions?
Questions from the committee? I think this is the biggest.
Certifying how much, if any, is county money and how much is it's all grant money?
It's all grant money. There is nothing that is on the levy.
Is it that the remedy for, I think we had this come before the committee for that discharge?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what it does is there's a placeholder. The money does come out of like the general fund as a placeholder, and then it goes back in. So we get the grant and everything gets reimbursed back. So we're just the checkbook money in, money out, but the county has no, they don't have any holds on it. So we're good that way. We don't have anything that comes against us.
Okay.
This project is actually required to be done at the end of this year. So there's going to be a lot more coming out of
There's
this,
still
so
more
don't
coming.
be surprised. They're really, right now it's at a standstill. Until this can get paid, that project's not going anywhere. So we are against weather and time.
Oof.
So, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Any questions from the committee? Otherwise, we'd look for an approval.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Larson, second Todd. If no other discussion, call the vote. All in favor of approving the county cost share request, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We can get these people paid.
Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Next, we'll have our county conservationist report, operations report. Charmaine, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so yesterday we had our tree and shrub sale online go live, and since yesterday, since it's been live, we have almost 70 orders, so it's a big hit. I think the online ordering system is a success, and we are looking forward to do this again next year and following years too. So the trees and shrubs are taking off. I am working with the area schools for the land and soil judging. So we are trying to finalize a date next year in 2023. I believe it'll be sometime early May, and then also I'll be reaching out to farmers to see who would like to have that hosted on their farm. So the Land and Water, the Wisconsin Land and Water, they are hosting a silent auction. And so this is for the 70th annual Wisconsin Land and Water Annual Conference, which is March 1st through the 3rd. And they would like counties to have donations for the silent auction, and any donations that are raffled off that would benefit youth education for all counties. It would help pay for students that are interested in attending meetings and also different programs. It would also help with like camp scholarships and team registration for National Envirothon, t-shirts or food costs. So basically it just goes 100% to the youth and youth education. Haley and I will be sending out letters to local businesses to see if we can get any donations. And the Land and Water also requested that it could be anything, but it could be things that kind of highlight your county. So it'd be kind of cool to have something from Trempealeau County to represent at the state conference. But like I said, it could be donations of anything. So for the posters, we have received about 10 posters so far, and we would love to have more. So those are due December 20th, along with the speaking entries. And speaking entries are the registration. So we are looking for judges. We need 3 total. And we would like to have 1 or 2 from this committee, and also to have a local teacher. So, and that would take place on, let's see here, January 5th. So that would take about maybe an hour to hour and a half in the evening. So if anyone is interested, feel free to reach out to me or Haley. And we would like to, again, have somebody from this committee or another 2 from this committee to represent. For our county cost share projects, we are finishing up the last few. Right now, I am working on writing up a lake management plan for the first and second lake. So the lake management plan is actually like a prerequisite for the DNR surface water grants. So that is due November 15th. And I am working closely with the DNR biologist for this area to come up with a cohesive plan for first and second lakes. So that is what I am up to these days.
Not much at all. Well, thank you. Any questions for Charmaine from the committee? Hearing none, thank you. Appreciate it. Next item we have is comprehensive farmland preservation plans partnership with townships, discussion, possible action. I think this is a Mike talk.
In 2000, well, prior to, I think it was going back to about 2001, the state of Wisconsin passed a law requiring counties, towns, cities, and villages to have comprehensive plans. And those were supposed to be, the first plans were supposed to be passed by 2010. So the county has been working with town governments since around 2009 on land use planning, comprehensive planning issues, and there's been several updates since 2010. I think there's been with changeover in town board members and things along those lines. I think it's sometimes it's good to kind of meet with the towns and discuss again how we approach comprehensive planning, how that partnership works. why we're doing it, what state requirements are. It's not the county telling the towns what to do. It's actually a requirement both of us have to meet, and kind of it'd be really good, I think, to discuss that partnership and how that works together. So I'm suggesting that this committee hold a joint meeting with some representatives from the Towns Association and kind of maybe review some of those fundamentals of comprehensive planning and how we can move forward working together. Because really, it's something we all have to do, and if we can figure out a process, it can be, outline expectations that we both agree upon. We can move forward in a efficient way. But it's a lot of complicated stuff. It's very important. It's just not a plan you have to pass. It can help guide land use policies when it comes to frac sand mining and other issues. So these plans, and actually when it comes to like solar farms and things like that, comprehensive plans and your zoning map do get considered by the Public Service Commission. So these plans are really important. On the county side, there is farmland preservation planning as well. That's so closely tied to comprehensive planning. I think it makes sense to integrate that planning process into comprehensive planning as well. So I just think it's really good that we kind of meet, have the discussion, and outline a process going forward for the next several years.
Okay. Tony?
Because you mentioned at one of the previous Towns Association meetings that we don't have an employee now to oversee this kind of?
I don't think I said that. I think someone else said that. We have staff that can deal with planning and zoning issues, just done differently. In the past, we have used contractors. And what I mean by that is the Regional Plan Commission has been the main person, main resource on that. So we can use them again right now from a cost perspective. If we were to contract with them, they would be a cost of $8,000 for their standard plan. So if we wanted something else, if we have a more intensive process, public participation, that would change. But we also have to keep in mind that their director is leaving right now. They have another vacancy. They really only have 4 people, a director, an administrative assistant, and 2 planners, and they're down a planner, and the director's leaving or retiring. So, and they're doing other plans for other communities in the region. So we just have to keep that in mind, that we can work with them, that's fine, I'm fine with that, but we just have to realize that they have limits to what they can do in a certain time frame. So I think it's just good to kind of review all of that. And
Because when's the next update, 5 years, or is it less than that?
the state requirement is a major update every 10 years.
But we are
So-
in year what? Because we just,
It's around
The-
5.
Most of
what I
the
thought.
towns are either up to 2027 or 2028.
okay,
So we're kind of in the middle of it.
that's what I thought.
Not really in panic mode,
No, but I mean.
but probably is I guess personally, I like the idea of walking through,
Well,
with some
that, I
towns
mean, Some
members.
of the extra funding that was brought up, I mean, who pays for what? Because we have relied on the county because it is under county administration. But yeah, that was brought up just to work it in the budgets or whatever, plan for it.
Right. And I think the costs have gone up. I think maybe we paid less to the RPC in the past. I think those costs are more today. So, we'd want to talk about that, and costs might be more in the future. So we need to be sure we can have the funding to do that. But between, I think, our department, land records, and RPC, I think that model would be able to do it quite efficiently, but we need to have that discussion as a partnership, I think.
I agree with that.
You are just planning or talking about what kind of a meeting? Are you saying you or some of us should go to the town association meeting to discuss it, or there should be a separate special meeting, or we should incorporate it into our meeting?
Separate special meeting
Okay.
of the ELU committee and then whoever the towns association. However, if they want to bring a rep from every town, if they want a committee of, however they want to do it. And we just have one topic, comprehensive planning and farmland preservation planning, and how we can kind of make those plans happen in the future.
And then as a start to this meeting, would you have some sort of a guideline, agenda as to where the discussion would need to go? You
Yes.
would provide that?
Yeah, and what my hope would be is I would bring in some representatives from the Towns Association that would be able to, some of their staff to talk about some of these
Legal
items.
issues and the public-
Yeah, you know, and maybe, and very, again, not getting deep in the weeds, very high level, and possibly a DATCAP person when it comes to farmland preservation planning. And so we'd have that get that background information, and then talk about our partnership going forward. And maybe we don't get it all done in one meeting, it may take a couple, but I think it's easy to forget all the details of why we do these things. And there has been changes over the years. And I think it would be really good to have that discussion.
I think we could put it, I think towns meet again in December, I think. It's every other month. It's either December or January, so yeah, we'd get that on the agenda so we could,
Put a committee together.
well, hear
You
what the
guys can
towns
figure
want
out.
to do or whatever. and
Yeah.
so-
We're not in a hurry here.
No, that's right.
And that's a good thing. You know,
Yes.
we can take our time and get things figured out for the years to come. Because these processes do take time when you're doing getting public input, doing a survey, and then pulling all that information together, you know, all the analysis, and then the public hearings and reviews and changes. It takes time.
Yeah.
It's a slow process.
So at this point, what we're probably looking for is just a suggestion?
Well,
That a letter go out to the towns and
I-
towns association to put it on their agenda to start
I would say
discussing? Is
just,
that-
if you guys make a motion to approve having a joint meeting with the Towns Association, just to that effect, then I or Tony can get that information out to the towns and,
Well, that would almost be helpful too, because then, like, the towns would know where, if they have more changes to their comp plan and subdivisions that are coming up they didn't expect 5 years ago or whatever, especially down in the south, for the solar stuff also,
yeah,
would be beneficial, I think.
right? So just, yeah, a motion of, hey, let's pursue a joint meeting would be.
I'll
would
make
be-
that motion.
Second.
Motion from Larson, second from Munson, to conduct a joint meeting between the ELU committee and staff, as well as the Towns Association. All in favor,
Timing to be determined by Mike.
to be determined by Mike.
And the
yeah,
towns.
And the towns. All right, any other discussion? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will get a committee, well, hopefully begin work on that, anyway. Next, we have item number 10, comprehensive and farmland excuse me, I start reading better. Village of Trempealeau easement on county-owned lots. Discussion, possible action.
The county owns several lots down in the village of Trempealeau. There's one lot that the village has sanitary sewer going through, and by doing some sewer improvements on that lot, they're able to get a clean water loan. If it's not in your packets, not sure if it made it in or not. It did? Okay. This is off of Lake Road. Essentially sanitary sewers going through that lot. Doesn't bother anything. So I think it's really helpful. What it does by approving this helps that Clean Water Loan Fund will help reduce the assessments for the properties the system serves. So you're reducing the cost for homeowners. Ultimate approval, this also should go through Property Committee. So if approved today, it'll go to Property Committee.
What do those lots represent to the county? I mean, is it a
This
boat access or residential lots or?
Back in about, I don't know, 2010 or a couple of years before, there was a number of homes that were in the floodway down there, and FEMA purchased those and then gave them to the county to maintain. So there's really not much we can do with those lots. So we just make sure that junk doesn't get piled up, and grass mowed below 8 inches and stuff like that. This does actually, the back part of this lot does connect to the National Wildlife Refuge back there, and people do walk through there to get access to the lake. So I'm sure people are, I don't know, I think you can waterfall hunt back in there and fish back there. So people will walk through that lot too there.
Give the county permission to the town of Trempealeau to do that?
Motion by Munson,
I'll second with a question. Is there any cost with this upgrade to the county? They'll
No.
take care of it all.
Under the grant.
Yep, okay.
okay. Yeah, motion by Munson, second by Larson. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all in favor of approving the easement for the Village of Trempealeau on county-owned lots, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have item number 11, Director Operations Report.
Yeah, it is approaching the end of the year, so we are starting to work on our 2023 work plans and also review the work we've done in 2022. You'll be hearing a little bit about what we've accomplished in the December and January meetings, what we've accomplished over the years, and our 2023 work plans. So a lot of work going into that. I met with Samuel's group regarding the remodel. I think there's positive momentum in that area. Have not received the draft plans on where we potentially might be moving. I'm reserving judgment till I see those plans, but I think there is positive movement on that project. So that's where we are there. And we continue, I think, kind of working between comprehensive planning and some potential ordinance changes coming up here, kind of trying to deal with issues and get ahead of the curve a little bit rather than being reactive. So, any questions?
Any questions for Mike? Nope. Very good, thank you. Item number 12, future agenda items. Is there anything that the committee wishes to talk about, discuss in the future?
I'm inclined to think we need more discussion on the policy in regard to the building inspection of non-attached buildings on properties. I think we need to talk more about that.
Okay. We can bring something back at the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
One question.
Go ahead.
Regarding that meeting last week with WIDA, is there like next step for us, or how does that work?
Okay, just a little backup. Dave Carlson, Economic Development Manager, held a Economic Development 101 meeting for elected officials in cities, villages, and the county. Covered a lot of ground in that meeting on things, and I think one of the ideas I know Dave has out there is some future sessions to drill down deeper, get into more specifics on certain topics. I think he'll be reaching out to people to see what interest level is out there. And there also, I think, might be maybe a kind of summit of chambers, and kind of how they can work together a little bit. So those are some of the things moving forward. So if you have like certain topics that you're really interested, feel free to reach out to Dave and communicate those out. So we went through last week at that meeting at Riverland Energy. I think, boy, we I think it was about 3 hours or a little bit more covered. It was soup to A to Z, soup to nuts of economic development, and I thought it was really good, and I think you did too. So that's where, yeah. So we will continue to share those kind of sessions with everyone on the county board, and we'll make sure we get that out to citizen committee members as well.
Okay. Anything else from the committee on future agenda items? Seeing none, our next meeting date is scheduled for Wednesday, December 7th. And does 8:30 still work? Everybody's good with this time? Stick with that. So we will go ahead with that, and the next item we have is adjournment. So I will end the meeting at 9:14. Thank you all.